Hello, my name is Nayeli Arbizu, and I will be presenting my speech over the country of eternal spring, which is Guatemala. My audience is my aunt, Araceli Arbizu, my dad, Minor Arbizu, and my mom, Melba Arbizu. And the recorder is my sister, Catherine Arbizu. The country of eternal spring, commonly known as Guatemala, is the heart of the Mayan world because of all their customs and traditions they still practice to this day. According to Lori A. Selk from USA Today, the Mayan ruins are the living testimony of one of the most advanced civilizations of all time. The Mayans were incredibly smart. They were astrologers, agronomists, and mathematicians, which is why they were able to build and create pyramids, temples, and their own cities by just using their calculations of different objects in the sky. The Mayans' architecture is widely spread over North America, but Guatemala is the heart of the Mayan culture. The Mayans not only built some of the most memorable architecture, but they also had an influence over Guatemala's crafts and artwork. The Mayans had a great appreciation for the sky because of how infinite it is. Although they admired everything about the sky, their biggest interest was the sun, the moon, Venus, and the constellation of the stars. According to Michael Coe, 1975, the sun was actually the most important to them because it was said to be the prime life giver on Earth. They studied when the sun would rise, set, and even the length of the solar year to be 365 days. They were pretty good at their calculations because of the actual length of the solar year, which is 365.24 days. They believed that the god was associated with the sun, that the god that was associated with the sun was Tonatiuh, a red eagle with all-seeing eyes. Coe also mentioned in his article, Astronomy of the Mayans, that the moon was an interest to the Mayans because it was said to have been represented by the female deity who had powerful influence on terrestrial events. When the Mayans studied the moons, they began to see that there was two different moons, a waxing moon and a waning moon. The waxing moon, which symbolized a beautiful woman, and the waning moon, which symbolized an old female deity who ruled over childbirth. After the Mayans calculated the average lunation, they saw that there was 29,5,308 days in between, which again is an incredible accurate calculation because the average lunation is really 29.5905 days. Venus was very important to the Mayans because it was considered to be connected with the major deity Quetzalcoatl, which they named the Great Star. Michael Coe claimed the Mayans knew that this appeared in the morning and nighttime at different times of the year. The priest astronomers actually calculated Venus to orbit around the sun in 584 days. And again, the calculations were almost accurate because the actual period is 583.92 days. The Mayans believed that it was bad luck to come out when Venus had risen to the morning and to let the Venus evil spirits come into their home. So they blocked off any light hole that they had in their home. Star clusters and constellations were very useful for the Mayans. They were able to build pyramids, cities, and temples by using just the alignment of the stars. The Mayans had such a great connection to the sky that they constructed their own Mayan cities based off their calculations they recorded of the sky, which is why pyramid or temple they built were aligned to either the sun or the stars. Aligning their buildings with the sun and stars was also a way for them to navigate. It was like their own map. The stars were not only used to help navigate and build their architecture, but they also used them to plan ahead for their planning season. For example, they used the Pleiad star cluster to determine when they could start planting because it would always appear in the morning during late April. Lori A. Selk said that the Mayans' most famous crops were coffees, bananas, and plantains, even up until this day. Although all three of these crops are still very popular, the banana and plantain leaves are what people use the most, not only in Guatemala but in the United States. The banana and plantain leaves are commonly used to make Guatemalan tamales. The Mayans have an influence over Guatemalan art as well. In the many articles under Enjoy Guatemala, weaving is one of the outstanding Mayan craft and ancient art that has survived uninterrupted for centuries and is now becoming famous all over the world. The Mayans are also responsible for making baskets, pottery, and wood-carved animals, saints, and brightly painted toys. Another form of art was influenced by the Mayans was the instruments they made. Mayan instruments consisted of wooden flutes, drums, and bone rasp. Today, Guatemala's most used instrument is the marimba. It is a large wooden xylophone that's struck with mallets. The Mayans certainly had a great impact over Guatemalan culture today. They are remembered as geniuses because of all the great architecture they built just by using their own calculations calculations of the objects in the sky, such as the sun, the moon, Venus, and star constellations. Not only do the objects in the sky help them build temples, pyramids, and their own cities, but it also helped them gain knowledge of when they should and should not plant their crops. Although the Mayans are remembered to be geniuses, they are also remembered to be artists. They are the reason why Guatemalans know how to weave craft, make baskets, make pottery, and are very musical. No wonder the Mayans were said to be the most advanced civilization of all time.